Welcome everybody to episode 69 of Copi Cafe. We are the co-CEOs of Cornucopias. My name is Rob Greig and this is Josh Jones. So Cornucopias is an open world MMORPG developed on Unreal Engine 5. We build all our own graphics in-house. It's currently in early access to about 300 testers, but by Christmas that hopefully will open up to 1,000. 5,000 to 10,000 start of next year. The world of Cornucopias offers an immersive experience set in a post-apocalyptic skybound setting, an alternative universe take on Earth. Welcome, Josh. It's been a while. We've lost our 45-day streak.
Yeah, we have. Unfortunate situations led to that. Which I alluded to on Twitter, and I wanted to take a second to just thank everybody for the prayers, love, support, encouragement around my mom, and it's very appreciated. I love seeing how the community kind of rallied a little bit there, and I'm grateful for that 100%. And I will say that. I'm not going to do a lot of updates, but she's making gradual progress right now. So there's a little bit more hope than before, and hopefully it continues in that direction. But yeah, it's good to be back. I haven't done any in a while. And as a result of kind of what's going on there, just a heads up that we may or may not be doing Copi Cafe weekly right now, because I don't know what the hospital schedule is going to look like. And, I'm working around and at the hospital, and it's just a different scenario. So we're figuring it out as we go. But yeah, we wanted to do this Copi Cafe just to get back on your radar and say hello to everyone. We miss it, and we miss doing it. So it's good to be back. Several things we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Vegas. We're going to talk about the update to UE 5.3, racing, some marketing stuff, community sharing of content, a little cross-chain announcement, and node preparation. So that's a good list for today. And let's just go ahead and kick it off. What are your thoughts on Vegas?
Well, in Vegas, I brought back this huge drink. Oops.
Whoa. Oh, it's interesting that you mentioned drinks.
Let's put them back up there. Yeah, so what are you drinking, Josh? I'm drinking a Coors.
Well, you might notice I'm in a different location. I'm at Jeff.
This ain't gonna work.
Jeff's house. I'm in Jeff's studio in front of his fancy equipment, and I'm, when in Rome, drinking what Jeff drinks. It's a Mad Tasty.
You got a Mad Tasty?
Sponsored by Mad Tasty.
Very nice.
Yeah. You might occasionally see a foot come into the image. And... Oh, hey, who's that? All right. Oh, hey, there's Jeff. Hey, guy.
Hey, Jeff.
How you doing, man? All right. Welcome to Copi Cafe.
All right, you guys kick some butt.
Cheers.
All right,
yes.
Thanks, man.
Vegas. I mean, Vegas was I thought it was pretty amazing. It was great to be back the second year in a row. We took even more team members this time. There was 18 of us, was there? 17, 18, 19. We kept some kept appearing and then disappearing. We had 4 huge screens, 65-inch screens. And again, like last year, the booth was just busy all weekend. We had the mining game, the racing game, and Calido Valley that everybody's testing. I thought it was a quieter event than last year, definitely. But that final day, I thought it was a really, really great atmosphere.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I felt like we were bouncing from interview to interview and doing a lot of content, and then coming back and playing, watching people play games and enjoying that. It was great. I thought it was a tremendous success. We, demoed the new racing game in a way that, everyone that played it was just so fired up and pumped up about it. So it's fun. The vehicles are handling well. The track's beautiful. We can't wait to get it in your hands. And we're not far from that. I mean, I guess, the only other thing I'd say from, for Vegas is just, as always, it's great to see the people, not just the people in our team, but the people in the community, the other projects that we work alongside. Got a lot of face-to-face people time, and that's meaningful when you spend most of your year talking to everybody in Google meetings. It's great to get face-to-face and give somebody a hug. And
any highlights?
Just watching the joy in people's faces as they play the game.
Yeah. The new Sphere was there. I thought the Sphere of Vegas was brilliant. That big place outside. But I think I found myself this year. I think one of my highlights was George, the George character. Zeke coming dressed as George.
Yeah, that was great.
That was really funny. But I think I found, because it was a lot quieter, I spent a lot more time talking to other projects, which was good. We spoke to Future Fest, and they're doing a special for us on their event on Halloween, so watch out for that. We spoke to Lena and Izzy, of course, of Clay Nation, and Lena is a whiz at making coffee. I don't know did she make you a coffee? Yeah,
I did have one. It was great.
We played chess, and the community was just brilliant. I suppose they're my highlights.
Great, good highlights. It's a good point to segue on to UE 5.3.
Yep.
So you made a Twitter post. If anybody hasn't seen that, definitely check that out. But there's a lot of value by switching up to 5.3.1. And so we've made that upgrade, and it has had plenty of issues that we had to work through on that for the last week and a half. But for the most part, we're, I think, 95% through most of those issues, which is great because that positions us for bringing the racing Calido Valley Raceway to you guys a lot sooner. I
think it was quite that Twitter post actually blew up a little bit. It was almost like 100,000 likes or views, which was really surprising for me. But yeah, the move to 5.3, we'd been putting off the move to 5.2, Unreal Engine 5.2, for months really, because we knew that the conferences were coming up, the Rare Revo and Vegas. So we held off, and 5.3 came out. But yeah, it was actually a really, really difficult move to 5.3. And actually now we're on 5.3.1. But the team have worked super hard. At one point, we almost rolled back to 5.1. But yeah, they put in that extra stint. And although I think in this next release, I don't think you'll notice too much the difference. There might be a difference in lighting. There's definitely a difference in performance. But I think what you'll see over the next few months will really benefit from us moving over to 5.3. So a lot of hidden stuff, and then some stuff that'll be really obvious. But yeah, it's been invaluable for us to actually move to that version.
And we have a special way that we're going to indicate that value and that change to 5.3.1 in this latest release that's coming to you, and that's part of our leak for later in the episode, but we'll be back with that. So next up is the racing Calido Valley Raceway launch. That's coming very, very soon. I'm not going to say a day, but very, very soon. So we're excited to get that in the testers' hands, and we are incredibly close. So
yeah, I mean, everybody knows it's working because they've seen it in Vegas, but Vegas was offline. It wasn't via the cloud. So we had to undo all those bits, upgrade to 5.3, put it all back together. So, it might look like there's a small delay, but that delay really is putting everything back together, doing the upgrade 5.3 at the same time. But yeah, it it's literally days rather than weeks away. But we won't give you a date, although it may even be out when this episode's out. But it is so close. It's very, very close. We've been playing it internally.
Yeah, and quite impressive. Can't wait to get it in the community hands. So that brings us up to marketing, and there's a couple topics that I want to share about marketing. Number one is we want to empower you guys that are testing now to start sharing content. You guys, our community, are participating with us in this development of this game and this community, and so we want you to be able to start sharing screen captures. Obviously, please, within reason, try to represent us well. Let's not throw crazy bugs out there. Tell us about the bugs; we'll get them resolved. But it's time that we start getting the word out there about what we're doing here, because we've been somewhat. We haven't done a ton of marketing, and we've somewhat remained in our small community, and it's time to change that. So we are ready to really start pushing this out to the world. So we're gonna unleash you guys with the ability to start sharing content, gameplay captures.
Well, I think it's right. We definitely have been holding back, but now we believe that there's enough content. Calido Valley's up to a really good level. The guys and gals that have been testing it, they know the map quite well, so the content should flow. There's racing in there as well, so there's variation in there. Some mining's coming as well. So yeah, the handbrake's off. Get ready, go out there, share it, and have fun.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of the hurdles out of the way now. The infrastructure is getting further in place. The launcher has come a long way. Things are really getting buttoned up to where it's really more about game releases and new game content on a monthly basis, and really prepping us for next year and all that's to come with the, if we go historically speaking into another bull cycle, which I think we will, we want to be well positioned with not only a ton of game content, but with everybody knowing and understanding who we are and what we're doing in all of Web3. So, and that kind of takes us to another announcement that's following this. But so we haven't yet done any paid marketing, but now's the time. So we've decided, when the sentiment about the quality of the gameplay experience was strong, when our infrastructure, when we had a good handle on that, we would go ahead and start ramping up our marketing. Well, we've sped that up a little bit. There were a few more things I wanted to tackle before we started, but we've decided to bring on a PR firm. I'm not going to name the name yet until we solidify the deal, but it's a very well-known PR firm. We're going to bring them on, and that's going to help get us a lot more exposure to all of Web3. So I'm excited about it, and it's not only going to be Web3, but that's going to be the focus initially. And we've mentioned this all along, our strategy, that we were really trying to appeal to all chains, that Cardano's our home, but that we're going to be interoperable. We're going to try to appeal to all of Web3 and eventually to all the Web2 people. So this is just another phase of our strategy where now we're going to start broadening our reach and broadening our exposure and really ramping up the marketing and getting the gameplay videos out there and getting more people content to stream and empowering the influencers to share more. So it's exciting times. Very exciting times.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot more of us. We've definitely been quiet, but I mean, that's good. That was the quiet before the storm. The storm is coming.
Yes, it is. And so another thing to note on that is this cross-chain exposure. What better way to do it than to take everything that's going on with our project, release a new vehicle, and run a sale on an ETH-based layer 2. So that's going to be coming up pretty soon. We've been in preparation for that, for a tech preparation for that. And as you guys know, we started off on Binance Chain. We've done a lot of things cross-chain because we've always said we're chain agnostic. And we've built the bridge with Chainport that added a lot of value to the Cardano ecosystem. And now we're able to utilize that and go cross-chain, do an ETH sale. NFT sale that prepares us for something very exciting, the Cornucopias Racing League, but also a cross-chain race in 24.
Yes, which I think will be huge. You know, the exposure going cross-chain, it's only going to be a tiny sale. Don't worry about that. It's going to be very, very small. But yeah, it will be testing the water, bringing in another chain, which gives massive exposure to the project. Then you don't know what's going to happen on the back of that. You know, current NFTs, they might gain interest as well. We will have that introduction into the Cornucopias Racing League, where we will have the different class of vehicles, the A-class races, the B-class, the C-class, all in competitions against each other, global, across the world. That'll be set over a number of weeks and months with huge prizes. We have a number of partners that are also contributing or maybe sponsoring some of those races as well. There'll be a huge Copi prize at the end of it.
There'll be more
exciting.
than just Copi prizes. Yes, there's going to be quite a few sponsors and tokens from different projects as prizes. It'll be competitive. We're going to have to build up and run a lot of smaller tournaments and gradually build up.
Yep.
So I would imagine it's going to be in the later half of 24 for the bigger race, and that way it gives us time to make sure that we've got our tournament platform solidified and we're running these smaller tourneys well. And then it's gonna be fun. I think that's gonna be a big race. And I want to say this is really important. We're not just a racing game, right? It's not just Calido Valley Raceway. That's one part of the world of Cornucopias. And so all along during all of this, we're still developing Solace, and we have it in our plans, and we're trying to accelerate those land plots and everything that's happening there and get you guys out into Solace and Esperanza and Fortune as soon as we can. So all of that is still in development. Very important.
We've created a 90-day plan. So we're not going to share all the details of that, but over this next few months, it's all about the starting points of exposure of the project across chain, across media. The next few months, really important that we test the racing game leading up to the racing league, because that will attract more eyes as well. Then before the end of the year, we should have a version of Solace that people can run around in, look at different land plots. We're definitely working on those now. We're planning those out. Those will all be placed by hand, all those different sections. So you'll be able to get in there, have a look around. And then we're developing full speed on Solace. I mean, we have done already, but there's so much more that we need to put into Solace before we release that, because we don't just want to release a big open world, but the content is coming. You've seen clips of mining. You'll be able to test mining. We've seen what it's like to run around and do holocache games. Holocaching will probably come into mining as well. That mining level will probably expand out to about 5 times that, but eventually that will also go into Solace. So these next definitely 3 months is all about testing, buttoning up, getting all the multiplayer, getting everything all together, ready for that huge exposure, really leading up to probably about Easter, I would say. By Easter, I think the project should be really hitting, really, I would say, the start of where we need it to be to do an even bigger push.
Yeah, and that was a lot of what you just said there was the sentiment around me drafting the 90-day plan and the 180-day eventually plan, where we're really trying to make sure we're all aligned towards being positioned incredibly well for the next bull cycle with one of the top Web3 games, if not the top Web3 games. I mean, let's shoot for the top, right? And look, that's a matter of opinion. It's subjective, but we're aiming high. And now's the time to start marketing and gradually increasing that. So we are. And really, we want to take our community and get 10x more exposure, eventually 50x more exposure, and just gradually build our user base. At the same time, we want to speed that up as well. And by user base, I mean players, the daily active players. That we want to be growing that number over time. And so that, maybe by January, we've got 10,000 people in playing the game. ideally, So exciting stuff, really exciting. But did you want to talk about the nodes at all?
Yeah, I mean, I just saying we've known over we've seen people asking us to do marketing over the last few weeks, and when's it going to start? When's it going to start? We thank everyone for being patient. We now see the first shoots of the market turning around. You have to understand that we have had to wait for our content to be at a good position, because you only get one chance to make that first impression. But yeah, I hope everyone's pleased that now is the time to put that right.
Well, I was amazed with the sentiment, and I think that Vegas really did help to firm up my conviction to start really pushing us out there. The one thing we want to be cautious about, and we've discussed this already with the PR firm, is that we don't create the impression that it's just Calido Valley Raceway. And
we need Solace out there. We need MMORPG.
So we're going to be trying to get more of that out there along the way, so that we don't get defined or pigeonholed as something that we're not. And that's just a marketing thing, and we'll get there with it.
Yeah, there'll be some exposure, but just like our game, that'll be touching the water. We'll be doing a few trials, but then when that time is right, and when we know we've got the right strategy there, we'll pump even more into that marketing as we get more and more content. So we do have a plan. We have had a plan all along. Now is the time to start executing on it. But did somebody say nodes?
Yes, I did. Let's cover those nodes.
So nodes is nodes is really, really important, and it was in our original white paper. I think the thing is with nodes is there's so much we can do with nodes. They fit into the decentralization of the blockchain, but they also fit into the decentralization of games. So there's various parts of the nodes that we have been researching, and some that we've been developing over the last year. We are starting off slow, because some of the elements that we have working, they need testing, securing, auditing, all those kind of stuff. But we will have a number of nodes that we will release over the next year. And by number of nodes, I mean different node types. So we've already have some information in the Wikipedia talking about nodes being an Unreal Engine server. So there'll be elements of the game that we can decentralize. We're not going to decentralize the heart of the game, because nobody wants a game that is suddenly falls over because somebody's running on a laptop and the laptop.
Well, we've always said we'll gradually decentralize over time. So yeah, agreed. Go ahead.
When my dog shuts up barking.
Hey, it's okay. We're all canine lovers here.
So annoying. Yes.
So here, Jeff's dog's perking up, hearing your dog's barking. He's worried.
So would you want me to go through some use cases where we can use nodes in the future?
Sure.
That we're looking into. So a perfect example of using nodes.
And all of this is very early, by the way. Yeah. None of this is, solidified and had the entire team buy in. We just know this is a direction we're investigating. So go ahead.
Yeah. So the nodes can bring multiplayer to home bubbles. They can localize that, so you can play with your friends in there, and these are nodes that players would host. The launcher would be able to run the node for you. You flick it on. If you do have that node license, you will be rewarded with NFTs and Copi tokens. So there is a way of being rewarded for hosting a node. So as an Unreal Engine server providing multiplayer, that's quite complicated to do. But we already create images of our game at the moment that will go on Amazon AWS on GameLift. Those same games we'll be able to Dockerize them, and once we secure them and get all those audited, there is a possibility that the launcher can run all those. So we're not announcing that, although it is, it's what we have working, but we're not ready to release that yet. So home bubbles, we can do that also for racing, like I say. And we're thinking, in the future, nobody wants a game suddenly to fall off, but maybe we can say, do you want to play the game using the cloud, or do you want to trial the game running decentralized? So we'll manage your expectations. So if it does fall over, then you'll there's a reason why, and you'll know why. And we're kind of like have an Uber system where you can rate, and then we'll see which are the steady one. All that anyway. That's all to come. Probably a while. We're talking 6-9 months, maybe a year, when all that is properly tested. But we will be testing that throughout the year with some of our community members. But so that's one use case. Another use case is, as many people have seen, the launcher is not the fastest to download from that single instance. This is an absolute perfect use case for another type of node, which is a file node. So the launcher executable will be split up into, 1,000 chunks, separated across all the different nodes. And then when you're downloading the game, it will be able to take little chunks and put it back together. That's not working yet. We have all that planned in theory. We've not started development on that yet, but we know what we're going to do with that. So that's an absolute perfect use case. Another use case is for in the future, when people are creating their own NFTs or their own custom work, those could be shared on like a private IPFS. That also could be hosted on these.
So plenty of opportunities.
Tons of nodes, node types that will come. They will all be different kind of rewards. There'll be a license for each. Some will cost more than others. None of them are compulsory. We will look at the different hardwares that they will go on. There's also a special kind of node that will require a graphics card, but we're not announcing that because that is still under early development. But that is so exciting. But to begin with, we will probably start off with a virtual node where we will host the nodes ourselves, and we will fractionalize the ownership of that, which will make it very cheap for people to enter into the nodes. But we'll announce more on that later.
Yeah.
I think way too much detail on nodes.
Yeah. So again, it's really early, so there's a lot we got to figure out exactly how we're going to make this work, but there's been a good amount of research already done. I think, it's going to be exciting. So that brings us to kind of a concluding area for the episode, because number one, we have a game demo scheduled with a major influencer. I won't say who he is, major Web3 gaming influencer that we're going to be showing him around here very soon. So we gotta bring this to a close. We've got one leak for you today, and that's going to be a link in the description of the video. So that link will send you to another video that showcases a lot of the progress we were referring to in 5.3.1, and just a lot of the changes that have been made. We want to show you the magnitude of what we've been working on since Vegas, which is just a short time ago, but we've accomplished a lot since Vegas. So very exciting. Check the link, go watch it. That's your leak for the week. And thank you very much for watching Copi Cafe, episode 69. It's
been a while. I feel a bit up and down, but yeah, that's episode 69 out the way.
All right. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.